Gombe State has been consistent in the provision of developmental programs and projects for the benefit of its people. Immediately after the swearing-in of her husband, Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, as Gombe State Governor, Asma'u Inuwa Yahaya stood on her feet to be truly the mother of Gombe State. True to the adage, behind every successful man, there is not only a woman, but a woman of substance, equally ready to surmount existing and emerging challenges alongside her husband.
What came into my mind after the swearing-in of His Excellency was the thought of the future. I wondered, how will the future be? How will we be able to fulfill the promises we made during the campaign? Especially being that we're all aware the coffers of the government was practically empty when His Excellency took over. I'm there to support my husband in different roles he's playing in the government. I'm there as a buffer. I'm also there as a bridge for other people to communicate to. But most especially, I'm there for the women and youths and the less privileged in Gombe State.
Before now, women and children in Gombe were at the mercy of the society, languishing in abject poverty. Lucky enough, the Office of the First Lady, in partnership with Gombe State Agency for Community and Social Development, through counterpart funding, provided school structures and maternity in Bogo community, Ako local government.
Since the creation of Gombe State, we have never had a First Lady that is very committed, working 24 hours, working tirelessly to uplift the poor or most needed people in Gombe State. So we thank her for that.
Another school at Kaswamata in Gombe local government, a maternity clinic, staff quarters and a borehole in Dambabardi in Kwame local government, as well as maternity clinics and hand pump boreholes at Jagabari in Funakaye local government. Gombe State, in collaboration with the federal government's program of Better Education Service Delivering for All, launched the Girl Child Non-Formal Learning Centers in all the 11 local government areas of the state to increase equitable access to education for all. Therefore, it becomes imperative for the governor's wife, Hajia Asma'u Inuwa Yahaya, to flag off the BESDA program at Kuri, Dasa Village and Ako in Yamaltu Deba, Balanga and Ako local government areas respectively.
The Gombe State government have spent from last year to this year, we've spent over 150 million naira in trying to improve the life of a girl child in Gombe State. And we are trying to look at the next phase of the program to also enroll another 50,000 kids back to school, which includes the formal and non-formal education.
In the nationwide, we have a special day for a girl child in the whole world. Her Excellency launched a book of the importance of girl child education and why a girl should be given the preference to go to school, also not to be kept at home to be doing other domestic activities. You know, in the time past, in the families, they prefer the male child to go to school than the girl child. We thank God for the government of His Excellency Alhaji Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya. He did not give room for only the male child. He gives room and encouragement for both the girl and the male child.
In her effort to further strengthen the bond of unity among women in the state, the governor's wife hosted the chairperson, Biliri Local Government, Margaret Beatrice, and wives of other local government chairmen to strategize on how to support government in its activities for the common man, especially women and children. In continuation of this same drive, Hajia Asmao Inuwa Yahaya hosted the female councillors representing the 11 local government areas in the state to rub minds and come up with various initiatives that will improve the livelihoods of the needy and vulnerable at the grassroots levels.
We know the condition nowadays is not easy for women, but with women like our mother, Hajia Asmao Inuwa Yahaya, that has concern on women and less privilege. She's doing her best, always trying her best to see that she provides palliatives, food items to them. A lot of things that she has been doing. We can always see her. She didn't fold her hand, always going up and down to see that she gets something good for her people, especially women over there.
Having worked tirelessly for women, youth and children in Gombe State, Hajia Asmao Inuwa Yahaya came up with her own pet project, the DualCare Foundation, to complement the activities of development partners.
When we started, I realized everything is on the government. So it's not only us, every other parastatal depends on the government. So definitely there are limited resources and there's limited the government can do for us. So with that, we decided to think of an alternative means of supporting the women, children in Gombe State. So with that made me to think and bring about the DualCare Foundation. The mission of the DualCare Foundation is service to humanity through education, empowerment, and creativity. When you educate people, you empower them, they're able to stand on their own and fend for themselves. Also, the vision of DualCare Foundation is to support women and youths, particularly to reach their full potentials.
DualCare Foundation is the vehicle through which the interest of Her Excellency and her concern for children, women and the vulnerable will be both driven and met strategically and in a coordinated manner. So far, the foundation was able to collaborate with some organizations, conduct some health programs, and also is making contacts with national and international organizations such that reliefs will soon come to the women, children and the vulnerables of Gombe State.
Towards ensuring health for all, DualCare Foundation, in partnership with Fidelity Bank, organized a medical outreach at Gombe Center for women, children and the vulnerable.
I would say collaboration with other NGOs, collaboration with the government, and collaboration with other corporate bodies, because we realized we couldn't do it alone. So that helped a lot. and finding out that we have many NGOs that have the same aim and objectives with us.
The DualCare Foundation has distributed more than 1,500 bags of rice to those less privileged across 114 wards in Gombe State.
200 people in this category benefited from the gesture to include eye treatments and other ailments, as well as the provision of eyeglasses.
Wannan tallafi ne wanda uwar gidan gwamna Hajiya Asma'u Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya ta kawo ma mutanen Gombe. Gaskiya wannan mata ta jajirce tana iya kokarinta ta gade mutanen Gombe ba su da matsala. Don ni gaskiya yanzu na zo da matsala ne na ido. Sun duba ni sun ganni suka bani magani suka bani glass da glassin ma a idona.
Wannan babban mataki ne sosai a wannan lokacin da muke da shi na kananan matsaloli ne yake addaban jama'a. In shugabanninmu za su dauki mataki na taimakawa jama'a ta haɗa gwiwa da wayansu kamfanoni masu zaman kansu da mutane ɗaiɗaiku, abubuwan zai zama da kyau domin matsalolin da zai yake damun mutane zai ragu sosai daga kowane irin mataki.
This is in addition to the provision of free breast and cervical cancer tests to women, supported by Amen Foundation.
We had some women with question mark on breast cancer, and we had to refer them. I am delighted that the staff of the Ministry of Health and the hospitals who have been trained have been very determined, very efficient, very competent people who are willing and ready to do their work.